Brakthi Yahweh, Brakthi Yahushai, Brakthi Yahweh, Brakthi Yahushai, Brakthi Yahweh, Brakthi Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashem, Rakakodash, the belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, true well. Salutations to the hopefully elect out there, you Akim Tazadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. I'm the priest Shaman, and this week's topic is going to be entitled accountability. The inspiration come from two situations. One, about to fight this speeding ticket. No, it was a a ticket. I was fighting a ticket. I'm fighting a ticket today in court, whatever. And I'm using Antonio Brown because the situations relate. Pretty much taking account for your actions. We're gonna see what the scriptures say about it, and we're gonna speak a little bit about accountability, man. Now, this book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 5, it says, "For every man shall bear his own burden." All right. So whatever burden is cast upon you, you got to deal with it, man. All right. You got to deal with the repercussions. All right. And not try to toss those burdens upon somebody else or just try to use a scapegoat, if you will. You have to bear the burden of your own actions and the consequences of those particular actions. For more in that direction, I did a show on the Takashi 69 situation. I spoke a little bit about that too. To do with snitching because he was, trying to bear his consequences and throw other people under the bus. What I wanted to say was, me and the brother was talking about this at the gym. I'm like, look, I got tickets before. If I'm in the wrong, I pay him, no problem. Even if I don't want the points, I'll say, I fucked up. I don't want I fucked up. I fucked up. Now I'm debating two situations because, these cops could be wicked. You know what I'm saying? And at least the Bible speaks about the sin of ignorance. Like, you're not trying to fuck up, you just wasn't aware of the situation. So I don't want to get too much of my thing, but that's what I'm going to go say. But this guy, Antonio Brown, I want to use him as an example of how not to be. All right. Because pretty much, brothers that follow football or follow any type of sports center, this guy's all over it. And this guy refuses, no matter what is brought upon him, that's clearly his fault. He refuses to take action. He refuses to take responsibility for those actions, but always blaming somebody else, man. All right. And this is what happens when somebody's very prideful, man, and they're not corrected. Eventually life catches up to you, man. All right. You could only be this way for so long, to the point that everybody's going to see how you are and pretty much say, look, fuck this guy, man. All right. He's a selfish character. That could also happen in the truth. You know what I'm saying? Not taking accountabilities. If you go off on the scriptures, you wing it, not being brotherly, all these things, if you don't just, even if sometimes you're in the wrong, just, hey, fuck it, I'm gonna take the low. There's nothing wrong with that. Certain times you might be feel like you want to vindicate yourself. You don't have to go out your means. Now, if a brother say, look, what's your cause in this situation? So what's your side of the story? Then by all means, you can tell your side of the story. But if the spirit is saying, look, we don't want to hear your side, force not the course of the rivers, as the Apocrypha says, and just go with the spirit. Okay, the Lord's put me through this. I know the Lord knows the truth, and I'm just gonna make the spirit work things out. That's always the best right route to go. It shows faith and it shows integrity, and it shows some type of character. Now let's jump to a few scriptures, and we're gonna see some accounts of the situation of people passing burdens around and accountability around. This is Genesis chapter 3, verse 12. And the man said, "The woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat." So, as you can see, Adam went off, and he's casting the accountability upon the woman. And verse 13, it says, "And the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, power," well, really this was the prophet speaking to them, "said unto the woman, What is it? What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and did eat." And when you read the following verses, everybody was held accountable for this action. Even though the woman went off, by all means, Adam didn't have any right to listen to her. You know what I'm saying? Even though he cast the burden, instead of just saying, look, man, I felt weak, he threw the accountability upon the woman, and the woman threw it upon the serpent. And guess what? Yahweh Shem Yahushai ended up putting curses upon all three, because they all was in the wrong, So as you can see, there's early examples right off the bat in the scriptures of people throwing their accountability from one person to the next. And we can see that the Most High, he judged that whole situation. Women go through child pains. We not living forever. All right. Esau's ultimate end in the kingdom is to be confused and be brought low. All right, so the Most High holds people accountable for their actions, and it's best, honestly, to just whatever happens, own up to the consequences of your actions, whether it be good or bad. You know, sometimes people just want to own up to the good. Yeah, I did this. You know, if it's something positive, yeah, I was the first to do it. When it was something to tarnish their name, even though they know they fucked up, they're gonna try to deny it, which brings a worse reputation to your name. Genesis chapter 27, verse 36. And he said, it is not, this is Esau speaking. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright. See, stop right there. Nobody took away your birthright. You see that same type of lack of character? He said, he took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, as thou not reserved a blessing for me. So this is Esau's characteristics, man. This is the characteristics of a person that doesn't want to hold accountability for the fact that, look, you sold your birthright. Nobody stole it from you. You know? You just gotta hold accountability for your actions, man. You sold your birthright. You said you were fainted, and you gave it up. You could have held it. And even until this day, Esau, at least the ones in the know, are still complaining to the Most High about this situation, man. Still don't have the integrity to take accountability for the fact that, look, you sold your birthright. Nobody forced you to be going in the woods hunting and being on the brink of starvation as you claimed. You did that. Now you got to own to the fact that Jacob, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have the kingdom, which it was set up in the spirit any old ways. See, when a man starts to not take accountability for his actions, that starts to tarnish his name, man. All right? And I know sometimes it might, again, I'm going to repeat myself. I know sometimes you might feel like you are in the right. But again, as it says in the book of Sirach, force not the course of the river, man. Even in the world, they say silence is golden. You know, unless you have the opportunity to say, look, plead your case. You know, if the spirit is forcing the situation one way, just flow it, man. Most High will work things out no matter what, you know. And I pray the Most High, you know, I'm about to go deal with this ticket. Ask brothers to send up prayers because I just don't want to get hit with the fucking points and the fee. Nobody want to get hit with no fees and points, man. So you ask brothers to pray for you. But look, if the Most High have it to where I lose the case, well, guess what, man? Everything is the will of the Lord, and I just gotta deal with that, man. I gotta deal with that. I can't say them prayers didn't work and brothers ain't really praying this, that, and I'm just gonna look, man. You know, I fucked up and I gotta own up to it, and whatever the Lord deals is the will of the Lord. Now I pray that, you know, I get a prayer of deliverance because I really wasn't trying to break the law, you know. But, you know, it's all in the hands of the Heavenly Father. And whatever He bestows upon me, hey, man, it's just a judgment of the Lord, and I got to hold myself accountable. Now, this is 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 20. It says, and Saul said unto Samuel, yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and have gone, right there he just lied, and have gone the way which the Lord sent me, and have brought Agag, the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took of the spoil, sheep and oxen, the chief of things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto the Lord thy power in Gilgal. So this is Samuel going the hell off, you know, and he's gonna lead to the true proverbs. The true proverb, I'm about to read it. And Samuel said, he hath at the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice. And that's a proverb that we utter time and time again. To obey is better than sacrifice. So when you go off and you start saying this and that and just sacrificing everything in your lips, but I did this, but I did that for you, but I was this. In this guy's case, I racked up all the yards in the season. I'm the top receiving. He's doing everything but obeying what he was told to do, man. Show up to practice. You know? Be a participating drills. Just basic instructions. But yet, he's throwing all those great stats at people, to the point that he eventually got his ass kicked off 2 teams and he's no longer playing in the NFL, man. Because he was always bringing up other shit, a point from the subject, a point from the point, man. Just got to deal with what the fuck is before you, and take accountability for Your actions, man. And I'm not just saying that as I'm talking to brothers listening. It's like a mirror, man. I'm looking in the mirror too. Like, look, man, whatever the situation is, gotta hold up to that. It says, and to hearken then the fat of rams. You know, hey, I'm a little side note, man. I remember one time when I went off on the scriptures and I got aired out, but I just owned up to it. It's like, I didn't mean this, I didn't mean, and I was sincere. I wasn't trying to sincerely deceive anybody. I sincerely went off. And the Spirit just had mercy to where, okay, you know. So it's a case by case scenario, but everything is all the will of the Lord. Verse 23: For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, he has also rejected thee from being king. So, hey, man, look, and this was the penalty for your actions. But, King Saul resisted the penalty of his actions because he still wanted to go ahead and be king. He still wanted to go ahead and be king. So it shows that rebellious nature was in his ass, man. What he should have done was Salakia, I'm going to forfeit the crown. Maybe, that would have been a great sign of humility, man. If you went off that battle, fuck it. I went off. I'm going to go on a fast. I don't deserve this. And the Most High likes things like that, man. When you own up to shit. Matthew chapter 27, verse 24. When Pilate saw that he could prevail in nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See ye to it. See, Pilate, you're not innocent. All right, because at the end of the day, you had the decision to make whether Yahushua walked away free or not. So he shall be held accountable, but not just him. Verse 25. Then answered all the people and said, his blood be on us and on our children. So when you see gruesome things happen to 2/3 of our people, don't weep, don't feel sad for them. They're just being held accountable for what the fuck they just said, man. And that is shed in the blood of Yahushua. So when you see demons come against the camp, come against brothers, people in the world hate you for no reason, that's these same motherfuckers, man. All right, except the elect that was amongst them, because you did have the elect that was amongst persecuting Yahushua, because those are the ones he said, forgive them, Father, they don't know what they do. So the elect that persecuted Yahushua out of ignorance, they're not going to be held accountable. But guess what? 2/3 of the nation of Israel will be. Now, what might say is that's not fair, but guess what? The Most High knows what's fair. And he says, as the scripture says, blessed is the man who the Most High imputeth not iniquity. Because guess what? The ones that was persecuting the Lord, that were of the event of the elect, eventually they repented and came back onto Yahushua, i.e. Paul. And the Most High pardoned them. So that's part of owning up to the bullshit and repenting from your ways, instead of not being held accountable for your actions and being a demon. And you know what these motherfuckers did, man? They went and released Barabbas, man. This is Matthew chapter 12, verse 37. It says, for by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. See that? So pretty much you're going to have to give account for every action, whether it be righteous, all right, whether it be actions pertaining to righteousness or words that you speak that will condemn your ass. The things that you say are very important, and you got to suffer the consequences of the good and the bad things that you utter. John chapter 9, verse 41. Yahushua said unto them, if you were blind, ye should have no sin. But now ye say, we see, therefore your sin remaineth. So going into the topic of accountability, 2/3 of our people that once hear this word, they're going to be accountable for hearing this word. So when the judgment comes down upon America, and we see in great tribulation before a lot of people, hey, man, you just got to own up to it. You got to be held accountable for your actions, man. All right, so with that, quick lesson. I brought this, whatever Most High deal with me in this situation. Praise deliverance, but if not, hey, just take accountability. I pray brothers are edified, man. I'm gonna give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. I'm gonna say double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone true well, and I'm gonna say salutations to the whole for the elect out there. You Akim to Sadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Shalom.